Hello everyone, I'm Peggy Neely Harris, and once again, this is Peggy's Creative Arts Space Podcast, a place where you can come to have creative conversations about the things that are most passionate for you in the arts. Let's see what we have today. Yeah. So, welcome back everyone to our podcast for the month of March. It's Women's History Month, so that means 5 whole weeks to chat with some mighty fine females who are at the top of their game. Again, we are here for you. If you're interested in creative conversations that could help yourself, your family members, your friends, or someone in your community that deserves support in getting their artistic talents off the ground, please join us. This podcast is for connecting, motivating, learning, and sharing positive insights with one another. Our special guests have agreed to come on so you can get to know them and they can get to know you. Network with them. We offer drama workshops, and starting this month in particular, so watch out for more to come on that. We offer creative coaching, eye-opening facts about people in the industry, hands-on tips, ideas, and suggestions to help you with your creativity. Again, the arts are uplifting, and it helps you to identify with so many things that are going on in the world today. But through creativity, yes, it can make a difference in your life and everyone else's. Today, my guest is sharing some amazing visions for North St. Louis County through visual arts. Now, I can't draw a darn, I draw stick figures, but I'm kind of feeling like picking up one of those canvases and creating my masterpiece. Maybe. But please welcome Sr Glynis McManamon, visual artist. Well, hello, I'm Peggy Neely Harris from Peggy's Creative Arts Space Podcast. And today I'm sitting here with Sr Glynis Mary from Good Shepherd Arts Center. She is doing a phenomenal job. I love her so. I've been to her facility, and we're just going to sit here today and tell you guys a little bit about what's happening in Ferguson, and we're going to just chit-chat about some things that we believe in and how wonderful and how beneficial the arts are. So I'm going to introduce Sr Glynis Mary. So Sr Glynis Mary, introduce yourself again and tell everybody where we are and your love for the arts. Let's just chit-chat about arts in general, because we both love it. So
we do both love it.
I know, take it away. I'm so glad we met.
Yes, it's so exciting when people express themselves creatively.
Yeah.
And it's something of an energy that just shows up. I mean, for those who come out of a faith-based, they know that they see the Holy Spirit working in that. But the reality is, spirit is, people recognize spirit.
Yes.
And spirit is at work when people are being creative.
I believe it.
Yes. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So you chose this location for a while, and just tell us the background story.
Well, in 2015, by a series of unusual events, I found myself in Ferguson renting space, and I myself am an artist. I have a specialty, which is Byzantine and Russian style icons.
Wow.
That's what I do. And I wanted to be present and create a space of peace and beauty in Ferguson. It was the year after the unfortunate shooting of Michael Brown Jr. Very sad time, and just felt, well, there's nothing I can really do, but there's something I can be. I can create a space. And so I was doing that. The next thing I knew, I was being asked, would you allow me to show my art? Would you host this? Would you do this? And I was surprised.
Wow.
We did that a few years and wound up creating a not-for-profit. Thrived for a while next to Kathy's Kitchen. Mm-hmm. Always liked to tell people exactly where to find us.
Mm-hmm. I know where that is.
You know, and then you know the tune that comes, the refrain that everybody sings since 2020, which is "and then COVID."
And then COVID.
And we couldn't have kept the place clean and safe.
I know. Okay.
It would have been too difficult, and the artists were canceling.
Yes.
And many people who visited there were in an older population.
Okay.
You know, so it just became necessary to say, well, let's close our doors. So we've kept running virtually. Mm-hmm. We have kept exhibits going since 2020 online. At the same time, I was asked to coordinate exhibits here at St. Peter's United Church of Christ,
Wonderful.
and had done that again, and then COVID.
And then COVID.
And then COVID. But it seems like we're starting to find some way to navigate around all this and have some live art. So I'm hoping to introduce a young gentleman by the name of Davion Henry and have some of his pieces on exhibit here at St. Peter's in February. Cross my fingers,
Alrighty.
pray, say if God says the same, and we'll see what happens.
Sounds wonderful, wonderful. Well, that was a safe thing to do, closing and then finding another spot. But you've done a lot of stuff virtually too, right?
Yes.
So that's where I think we all have to be open to make transitions in our lives and in our careers. And art is no different. And if they're doing it in New York City, Broadway, Hollywood, we have to do the same thing too.
Exactly.
It's the best thing. But I am so glad you're here. As you know, I love art, and this podcast is going to help hopefully prove that, as I have more and more people like yourself on. But I think for this first podcast, I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit more about your vision for, Good Shepherd Arts Center, and basically where you're going from here and how you plan to bring more artists into Good Shepherd.
We started doing a little something last year, and I think it's the springboard in terms of the vision. And that is started using the farmer's market as a place to introduce, and of course most of these are visual artists because it worked well at the market. So doing art with kids, but also having local artists come in. My vision is that we've got pockets of art locations, if you will, art destinations in St. Louis. Why not North County as well? We have a lot of giftedness here. So as an organization that primarily has done visual art, we hope to see several locations where people can view art. But we also want to see ways to support performance, sound, writing, the spoken word.
Yes.
However we can support these different aspects of art and drama, we want to see how to do that. So one of the things is looking for partnerships. Who else wants to do this, and how can we help them, and how can they help us so that we can do this for our community? One of the exciting things that's happening just a stone's throw from here is the Refuge and Restoration Project.
Oh yes, I heard about it.
Oh my gosh, it's just Ken and Beverly Jenkins, the pastors, have succeeded in purchasing that property, and there's going to be a multiplex as part of that. And so I've opened a conversation with Pastor Beverly saying, hey, what could we do? Could we have a space in the community where different smaller organizations could provide hands-on training, hands-on opportunities for children, for families, for young people, older people, doing different creative acts, and have the equipment there and have the supplies there. So she's open to that conversation. So that's one of the aspects, is to have that conversation. Meanwhile, I want to see 3 different visual arts exhibit spots. One of them is here, St. Peter's. I want to use this for the undergraduate artist. For one thing, there is from what I understand, no gallery at UMSL where the students can have their own exhibits.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they used to have one, but it requires a lot of management.
Sure.
And so I've invited them, and I've written to all of the universities and colleges that are accessible here, saying, hey, we would like to see, this is a learning opportunity. Any student to submit a proposal and show me what do they have, and what do they want to say and do. We'll help them install a nice exhibit here and do what we can to make it accessible to the public within whatever guidelines are going on at the time. But it looks good on their resume, it's good hands-on experience, it gives them confidence, and it also gives us a chance to see some folks may really want to go on and pursue art as a career. This is a good stepping stone. The second is we're hunting around for a business partner who would like to have their walls adorned with art, and looking more for the professional artist who's been doing this a while, so maturity there.
Wonderful.
In a few conversations, they haven't completely resulted in the end result, but you know what? That's what creativity is about. You take a step and things open up, or they close down and you go a different direction.
You keep
but
going.
you gotta keep putting one in
going.
front of the other.
Yes.
That isn't that you can't sit back and wait and hope that something happens.
Yes.
So that's the second thing, is a good mature gallery setting. And the third is to ask if at the multiplex there might be an area reserved for a children's gallery. So
Wouldn't
that,
that be awesome?
it would be awesome. And so the schools could take advantage of that. But you know, different organizations could. But it would be nice to have children's art be on exhibit where the public could see it and be able to change that out. So those are just two of the directions that
Awesome.
that we are exploring and
Great.
want to see.
That's come to fruition, I guess. Huh?
Yes, come to fruition, and especially to highlight what's happening in North County.
Yes, that's great. Well, it would be wonderful to open this corridor up as an arts hub, basically. And I do remember slightly, we had just a very, very small conversation, even before we knew that restoration was going to be, opening up that area.
Yes.
And for those who don't understand what or remember or know what that is, it's by the old Rothman store on West Florissant.
Yes, there's still a sign that says Springwood Plaza.
Okay.
And I think the Schnucks was one of the anchors there.
That's right.
But that's all before my time. I'm not from St. Louis.
It's a huge area.
It's a huge area, and there's so many wonderful things. So I say Google refuge and restoration and see what else they're going to be doing there.
Wonderful.
But this multiplex has some opportunities to build up the arts in this locale.
That is wonderful. I'm so glad. And you have some really, really good visions, and I love it. Count me in. I'll be with you. You know that, right?
I am. Yes, I am. Yes, yes.
I love it. Oh, I love it. So now on Peggy's Creative Art Space podcast, we are actually trying to build people up like yourself,
Yes.
not just in visuals, but in all areas of art too. So when we talk about giving people a stage or giving them a platform to bring their art out and have it displayed, I'm thinking about the age, the generational, the generations. How important do you think it is? And I think it's very important myself, but can you expand a little bit about the importance of all the ages coming together to share our art? Because you can't leave one age out.
No.
Okay,
No.
Yeah.
Art is
communication.
And we want communication happening among different generations.
Yeah.
And there's the expression and there's the appreciation.
Yes.
So it's as much to have the young people be appreciated for their art, but also for them to appreciate the art from another artist. The grandparents may also be making art and have something to communicate through their artwork. The parents, the aunts, the uncles, it really does go across the generations. It is about expression, but not just expressing, but also receiving and perceiving.
And respecting each other too. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think there's something that we can all learn from each other's art. Whether you're young, tall, black, short, white, whatever. I think we can all learn something because, like you said, art transcends borders.
Yes.
I mean, anybody can recognize a beautiful painting and it can do something to them, just like that.
Yes.
You could recognize a dance or just see a dance and you could be totally moved by it. So I think it's so important, and I thank you for saying that, because I was just saying, we are so divided sometimes. We all forget to come and sit down at the table. And if we do that kind of thing, I believe art has the power to heal. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, I think yes.
There are certain experiences and certain depths of pain sometimes that words you can say. I can describe what has happened to me, or I can discuss it. One difficulty is sometimes I can say what's going on and somebody else will enter it, but they don't know how to interact with it.
Yeah.
And they will argue with it.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do with that. But if I can express it in a color and a form and a shape or a dance,
I love it.
the response is different. There is a mystery that is opened up. And I think it creates a space for somebody else to step into that mystery.
Yeah.
That sometimes words, simple descriptive words alone will not achieve. A poem can achieve that more effectively.
Yeah.
Because it creates a space.
Right. I've never seen anybody look at a painting and start fussing about a painting, right?
Right.
So you look at it and it does something to you. You appreciate it in a way that someone else may not be able to, understand or see, right?
And it's okay.
Yeah.
I challenge people. We actually have a couple of Mark Rothkos in the St. Louis Art Museum. I don't know if there are any Mark Rothko. And I call Mark Rothko the artist that I would like to absolutely hate, but I cannot dismiss. I cannot dismiss. He just does these blocks of color. And so if you see it, 3 blocks of color on a book cover or in a book, what is this? But if you stand before a Mark Rothko, it's something about it that just says to me, you need to pay attention. You need to listen with your eyes. And there's a lot more going on here. And I think that's something about art too, is many times, even if I don't like what I'm seeing or viewing a play, and maybe it still calls me into an interaction there. I still am called, it's not that simple. Again, it's a space of mystery that opens up.
Awesome.
As a possibility to contemplate. And when we say respect, it means to look again.
Yes.
Give it a second look. Don't just, it calls forth respect.
Yes, awesome, okay. And so there are things, like for me, if I were going to be on a stage or bring children to a workshop, I know exactly what I would say to them, like body movement, facial expression, and so forth. What basically are the things that you as an artist would look for in a painting that I may not, but it can still move me and I can still appreciate it? What would be the template for an artist like yourself to look at something that I may just overlook or whatever?
I find in a painting that my eye is led, but my eye also is drawn. So my eye may be drawn to something in the painting, but it can't stay there. There's more. So there's a journey in the painting, and the eye is led in a well-constructed painting. And the other is that I had a teacher who had us do an exercise that was, I couldn't make head or tail out of it. We had a lot of darks and lights and this and that and the other. And then I was listening to a radio program. They were talking about dance, and suddenly something opened up where I realized what people who have studied art and aesthetics understand. There's so many elements of design. And even in a painting, there's rhythm, just as there is in music and dance.
In dance, yes.
Yes, there's contrast, there's harmony, there's disharmony.
Yes.
There's so much more that is done, but this is done in color and tone and value. And so a painting isn't just a flat, here you're looking at in a painting. This painting is what I do mostly anyway. So
exactly.
It shows up in all the arts. There's a flat surface, but it's alive. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
And that is what I like to see when I teach sometimes how to do an abstract painting, a very simple abstract painting. And I have someone just draw a whole bunch of loopy-loopy lines. And then I say, now we're going to play a game. You're going to take a color and you're going to fill that color in, but you can never fill it in where it's going to touch. So here's a block, and here's a block, and here's a block, so you can't have any time that color is touching along the wall of another color. And after you do all those, you pick another color, and then you pick another color. And what you wind up is with this rhythmical movement. It forces the eye to wander through that. That is one of the elements of design, one principle that's in there.
Wouldn't that be so great to have young people coming up and learning that kind of thing, other than just sitting and looking at a piece of flat paper or whatever? That's wonderful. So as we're closing up, how much would you say that the four arts overlap? I mean,
oh my,
it's
I think that they're all in this, if art were a molecule, and you've got these atoms in the molecule, that they're like that. And they have these valences, they have these energies. Some scientists are probably going, what are you talking about? I wasn't good at math or science. But basically they're different, they're distinct, and yet they do. They're in this, of course, opera.
Yes.
I mean, opera is the one that grabs from all of them. They can even have ballet, so they can even have dance in the opera. You've got your sets and your costumes, there's your visual arts, and there's your drama of the actual plot, here's your music, and you can have your dance. I mean, you have everything going on in an opera.
That's wonderful.
But even then, you know, there are paintings by, I think it's František Kupka, that are paintings where he tried to paint music.
Wow.
And it's just fun because you'll find some of the artists trying to do in visual arts, trying to replicate music.
Wow. That's
trying
interesting.
to replicate sound.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
And it's a very interesting exercise, but also beautiful. But some have been successful in at least saying, here's how I see what I hear.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. I like that, yeah. So I think it is, so as we do end, I'm so crazy about art. I just believe we all know that we are gifted for something, don't we? And when we're not doing that thing, it just rubs on you and rubs on you until you just have to get out and do that. I believe that we have a gift for a certain thing, and that it behooves us to just look into it and tend to that thing with all our heart, all our might. And bringing the arts together would be a wonderful thing for this corridor again. I just hope that that vision of yours and some of the people that, like Reverend Beverly and her husband, are doing to include us and just blow this area up with the arts. Just, you know, just call us an art club or whatever.
Yes.
Or we'll think of some names, right?
You're right.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so very much. I am so happy, and I hope this interview touches someone who has a knack for the visuals, a knack for drama, the dramatic arts, the performing arts, and all the other arts that intertwine and connect together.
Yes.
Yes, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so very much on this cold day in January, and we appreciate, and we're so ready to get back, I know, to just loving on each other's art, you know, hands-on. But until then, we'll continue to do what's right and what's healthy for everyone.
That's right.
And I thank you so very much for this interview. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Sr Glynis McManamon is the Executive Director and Curator of Good Shepherd Arts Center at St. Peter's Church in Ferguson, Missouri. Good Shepherd is a delightful, non-profit visual arts center providing a platform for people of all ages, including children, with a passion for painting, sketching, photography, textile arts, and all sorts of graphic artwork, where they can display their most inner thoughts of peace, love, and beauty through this creative medium. The very reason why Sr Glynis was drawn to the Ferguson area from the beginning in 2015, to serve as a buffer after the unfortunate uprising in the community. She opened her doors there and later moved into St. Peter's Church due to the pandemic and CDC guidelines. Although Sr Glynis' specialty is Byzantine and Russian-style iconography, Good Shepherd Art Center's doors swings both deep and wide for all who have something to bring to this huge canvas we all call life. For more information, contact Good Shepherd Arts Center at 314-769-9806. Hey guys, check out this flyer. We're beginning creative arts workshops soon. Join us. Yeah. Today's creative tip, facial expression. You know that old saying, you wear your feelings on your sleeve? Pretty much means that people can see what you're all about by the way you look. But then again, looks can be deceiving and not all people are the way they look. But for the stage, it is said that of all the things you wear, your expression is the most important, most significant. It tells the story of how we as characters feel. And all of the vocabulary words are very important for the stage, but your facial expressions give your character's feelings away very quickly, and that's good. For instance, the way you maneuver your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your forehead, it lets the audience know how you are feeling. If you're happy, sad, fearful, proud, forgetful, and so on. So follow your director's notes and use your expressions accordingly.
Did you know that Sheryl Crow from Kennett, Missouri did backup and sang on stage for Michael Jackson's Bad album, I Just Can't Stop Loving You? And did you know that Sheryl can be heard singing a jingle for America's fast food restaurant, McDonald's, back in the day? Absolutely, and I'm loving it too. Due to her musical background from mom and dad, Sheryl began playing piano when she was 5. By the age of 6, she could play by ear. She composed her first song at 13. Sheryl attended the University of Missouri in Columbia. After graduating, she became a music teacher at an elementary school in Fenton, Missouri, in neighboring St. Louis. Released in 1993, All I Want to Do became a worldwide hit, inspired by a book of poems she found in a bookshop by an unknown writer, Wynn Cooper. In 2006, Crow was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent treatment. She later co-wrote the cookbook, If It Makes You Healthy.
Don't go away, there's more to come. Hello everybody, my name is Peggy Neely Harris, and today I am doing twofold. I'm doing my regular weekly podcast with Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast, and also I'm going to use my arts to try to bring a little hope and healing at a wonderful event today at Darden Prairie Presbyterian Church, where we're preparing to do arts and all kinds of beautiful craft with the illustrious founder and creator of Cancer Companion Caring Trip. So I'm just out here trying to do a little bit of sound check and see all the people that are coming in who are performing. So as I said before, Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast is using the arts, the passion of the arts, the appreciation of the arts to bring all kinds of transformation. And today we're hoping that we're going to get a wonderful transformation with healing and hope and strength for those who are struggling with cancer, and for also the people who are taking care of cancer, the caretakers. So I'm going to go into the auditorium where we're going to be and try to get a few little shots and see all the preparation that goes into bringing hope and healing. But one special guest, besides some of the great people like Matthew Matheny and NFL player Kurt Warner, we have a special guest with Matthew Knowles. He's going to be singing. Well, actually, this is the premiere of his video that he's showing to show the effects of cancer on men. So I will be announcing that a little later as one of the hosts of this program today. So I'm going to. This is Karen and Kristen.
Hello.
Matching shirts.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we all have on jeans today, but they have the matching shirts on. But I did my armor today.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
We're
all
battling
right.
cancer
We're battling
with prayer.
cancer. That's right. So I was just explaining to everybody on my Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast that I'm here using my craft of the arts to help bring hope, healing, and awareness to what you're doing, which is Cancer Companion. So say hey to Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast.
Hey, you podcast people. We love Bonnie. She rocks. She's a superstar
there we
in
go.
the world of Cancer Companion.
I was Bonnie in one of her
Yes, she was a star.
films. Yes. So you're gonna be seeing Miss Karen later on this month in the month of March, which is Women's History Month. We rock, don't we, women?
Yes,
yeah. So hey yo, there we go. Thank you so much, guys. I'll be around in a minute. Awesome. My parting thought for today is be supportive. I personally believe that you can get a lot of joy out of seeing someone else's joyfulness, especially if you've been a part of that. That's it. Be joyful and be supportive. Thank you so much for watching Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast. Come back. See you soon.
Now I heard of a way of living. You'll be blessed simply by giving. If it comes straight from from the heart, blessed assured, then you know you have done your part. Given good measure, shaken together, surely running over. Love opens up and makes more room. Watch the blessings come right back to you. Say yeah,